When you're ready for checking that earns interest and gives you perks, Merc Perks Plus from Mercantile Bank is here. With a competitive interest rate and perks like travel services, cashback rewards, and identity protection, Merc Perks Plus has everything you need for your busy lifestyle. Merc Perks Plus also offers discounts on consumer loans, convenient online budgeting tools, and access to almost 40,000 fee-free MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merc is here. Learn more at mercbank.com/mercperksplus. Member FDIC.
The future is electric at Harvey Cadillac. Ask about lease and purchase offers on select 2024 all-electric Lyriq models for well-qualified buyers and lessees via Cadillac Financial. Terms, conditions apply. And 6324. Visit harveycadillac.com.
Do you remember when you said, let's get something on the books, and then we were just looking at Gwen Stefani and Miranda Lambert?
Good call. We time warped. Took a time warp to Perf Town.
Let's put You know what? I hit 30 last week. This is my third podcast. It's fitting. I've made $0.
Yeah.
With no positive outlook in the future for that to change.
None whatsoever.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you, everybody, for listening.
Seeing Alfredo over there on the exerciser machine.
Yeah. That's the best machine there. I mean, why do like a bench press or a shoulder press when you can just go to the exerciser?
Yeah, but no lunks at this gym. You can't be doing that.
What's that mean? It's not a lunk if you just need that room for your big thighs. Pop your pecs.
It's very fitting that those clips in there talked about, all the times we're at the gym.
Oh yeah,
finally happened.
Track record, Steve, of good planning.
Let me say thank you for showing up to this podcast.
Well, obviously we have a scheduled time that we do this podcast at, and I wouldn't skip anything that we have a scheduled time penned in on your calendar for.
No, of course not.
I wouldn't be caught.
Well, I mean, from this point forward,
starting
you won't skip anything. That we
starting
have
like yesterday.
Yeah,
I have no plans to skip anything going forward. That's pretty fair.
Now, if you follow the Steve and Kyle podcast, by the way, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast. It's Tuesday, March 21st, 2017, the year of our Lord. If you follow the Steve and Kyle podcast on Twitter at Steve and Kyle or Facebook.com/Steve and Kyle. You may have noticed on Saturday morning, I was active on social media, posting, saying something along the lines of, "Well, that's weird. I'm here at the gym and Kyle's not, and we had planned this." And I hung out for a little while, didn't see you, did my whole workout, went home, took a shower, took a nap, ate lunch,
right?
And finally, like 3 hours later, I get a text from you because last week on this very podcast, we had planned. We're gonna hit the gym.
The day at the gym was official.
Start working out, get in good shape. And so I was there at 9:30 at our scheduled time.
Yeah.
I was actually there a few minutes early, thinking maybe Kyle will be here early.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy that's late.
Well, you don't want to be that idiot.
No. If anything, being on time is late. So
right.
Being early is being on time.
You're darn right.
Or some
some football coach mentality.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That. Right.
So waited. Spent some time on the exerciser by myself.
Yeah, did you hit that?
Yeah, so I got home and it was later that day that you sent me the text saying, "Oh man, bad idea to stay out until 2:30 and then not go to bed until 4."
Right. Yeah. Turns out I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
I can't really pull
you're
that
30
off.
now.
Man, you cross that threshold, you got to start acting like it.
Yeah, it's not a gradual descent.
No.
It's a cliff.
Right, you fall off it.
Yeah,
that's the way that works.
Right off.
Yeah, you
no
can,
parachute.
And I guess what last weekend was, Steve, was I was trying to claw at the rocks and try to save myself as I fall off the cliff.
Yeah.
Right?
How'd that work?
I'm recovering.
Still, it's Tuesday and you're still.
I mean, I feel pretty good.
So probably at 80%,
right?
90%.
I mean, so it's been about when did you get? It was on the podcast. You told me right before recording. How many weeks ago was this when you said you weren't feeling well?
Oh man, it's got to be
4 weeks.
Probably 4 weeks. Yeah.
The week after, I got not sick, but some nose throat action that wasn't ideal, and that is not gone. So
Still hanging in there,
right?
Huh?
So I feel everywhere else like I'm above 90. But before heading here today, Katie goes, "Oh, why don't you take a beer?" Yeah, I'm good today. Right. I don't think so today.
So you got your Powerade over there.
Yep.
I got my water. Man, we're really really living the life here.
Well, the reason it's a Powerade because I didn't have change to buy a tea at the work vending machine.
I like how a couple weeks ago we're like, yeah, we're gonna start drinking during every podcast.
Right. Well, I still think we should.
Total. I have drank maybe a third of a glass of terrible champagne and half a beer, perhaps.
Really? See, I have drank 3 weeks on the podcast, and I intend to bring that back, Steve, when I'm back 100%, where I actually, my throat and my nose are cooperating. I think I still sound nasally, too. But I'm looking to bring that back because I want to do like a Steve and Kyle beer swap this summer, where we each grab a beer or two of whatever we want. We trade. It's like a beer buddy system. But it's just between you and I?
Right, exactly.
So is that really like pen pals or buddy? It's literally just the two of us handing one?
It doesn't even deserve a name. Like, there's no description for just two people. Well, I guess no. Pen pal was just between two people. Did you ever have a pen pal?
God.
I had one.
No, it always made me curious, but it's like, what do you do? Do you give it to the post office and say, hey, postman, can you send this to somebody?
Yeah, just give it to, your school didn't do it or anything?
No. Our school tried to do the old, put a note or whatever in this balloon and just watch it go. And then you see it go 300 yards and die into the tree. So, the only thing I got that is a squirrel or the weird kid who eats rocks.
Yeah.
So
don't be focused on the mailbox too much because I don't think anything's showing up.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get a follow through from Willie the weird kid who wears one shoe and eats mud.
Oh, please tell me that was a real person.
No, God, no. There's not based in any actual.
I was gonna say that's a devastating nickname.
Oh,
just God. Willie the weird kid. I mean.
Hey, Willie the weirdo! What are you doing?
Right, because everyone that you went to school with, that's a Brooklyn
accent. Jersey, yeah. I know. Hey, Willie! Stop eating all the mud!
So you had a bit of a weekend, didn't you? You drank quite a bit this weekend.
Well, so I've crunched some numbers, Steve. I talked on the podcast. I'm a number cruncher now, even though that's fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
And from Thursday, which was the opening day of the NCAA basketball tournament, which I can't wait to get your thoughts on later.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well,
and Friday.
Talking to number 2 here in the bracket.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. And the amount of possible points I have is like 50 more than the possible points that the number 1 person has.
What's crazy to me is I think when I filled out our bracket, I forgot about it until the last 2 hours. I was so worried about getting people to join so I wouldn't look and feel dumb and nobody was in there. I totally forgot. So that morning I filled it out, and I'm looking through it, and I go, why did I do this? Every other one of my brackets is similar, and then this one is 8 points lower. It's I don't know why. It's you know what? Everyone's going to make one off the wall one, and I just started selecting garbage. And sure enough, I think I am second or third to last.
Thank you, by the way, I think we had 31 people sign up for it. Now, for some reason, when I look at it, I don't know, maybe this is normal, but when I pull up our bracket, it only shows 25. Does that just mean that the other people maybe they didn't fill out their bracket completely? Because I know that it wasn't.
My lovely mother didn't even fill her bracket out completely, and she's still beating me.
Oh, wait a minute. Now it is showing view all. That's weird. Yeah, I tried it. I tried it earlier. Yeah, 31. I tried it earlier, and for some reason, the little button that says View All wasn't showing up. So only 25 were. Oh, I just noticed that my brother filled out one. Oh boy, how's 22nd place, Mike? Not so great.
Probably better than 29th.
You know what's really good? Second place, right behind the Cliff Clavens.
Oh! Well, I know who I'm rooting for. You know what? You winning actually means we don't have to send out a prize pack.
That's true.
But I am still rooting for the Cliff Clavins because that is a beautiful.
I don't blame you at all.
Beautiful name.
Well, let's see. The Cliff Clavins, of course, my bracket number 2, Steve's bouncy ball bracket.
Obviously.
But yeah, I have now. I don't even know who I have in the Final Four. I have to check this out right now. Oh, I had Villanova, so that.
Oh boy, so that's one down.
Kind of busted that. I have Arizona, which is still possible, but Arizona, number 2 seed, is going to have to knock off Gonzaga, the number 1 seed.
Right.
Gonzaga.
We can go both ways.
Let's see over on the other side. What's that? The West or the East? I don't know. I got Kentucky. Kentucky, okay, that's still possible because they have to be, but they'll have to knock off the number 1 seed North Carolina.
Right.
And then Kansas. Kansas will have to knock off Oregon.
Right.
Oregon, Kansas is 1 seed, Oregon a 3 seed.
Relatively likely, Steve.
Exactly. I don't have any huge. I mean, a 1 over a 2.
Right.
Not a huge deal.
It's just funny seeing all these people. I got James, who's tied for 4th.
Mm-hmm.
But his possible points are 66 points less than yours. Even the Cliff Clavins,
so, wait a minute, now,
48 points less than you.
Now,
and that just means he
here.
probably lost a national champion or 2 Final Four teams. So he literally cannot get those points. So his maximum is 116.
Okay. So my maximum is 164.
Right.
Man,
oh,
I'm gonna do this.
I got to click the View All tab just to get to my picks.
Yeah, because I had taunted you on Twitter the other day, posting a screenshot, thinking that the Kyle that I circled was you, but
7th.
Well, there it is, the phenomenal Final Four, all the way down in 29th place.
Well, that second round really crushed me.
Yeah,
10 total points. My total points 114.
So I'm assuming you had Villanova.
You
you probably had Duke going a lot further than they did because they got knocked off early, right?
And that's the thing, because I picked against Duke in like all of my brackets. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I've literally lost everybody except for my national champion, Arizona. That's it.
Not looking good. Not looking good for you then.
1, 2. Oh no, I have 2 teams left in the Final Four. Mm-hmm. Boy, that is bad. I didn't pick Louisville anywhere. What in the world was I doing? Boy, well the whole top section for me on that bracket is a real mess.
Yeah.
But thanks to everybody who did join.
Yeah, that was great.
Up, I
was shocked, and honestly, last Thursday, I was sitting at work, and it was about 11 o'clock, and I realized I heard somebody was walking around the office because they were doing an NCAA bracket there, and someone said, "Hey, remember you got to have your bracket in by noon." And I thought, like, oh crap, I haven't done the one for the podcast yet. So I signed up for a Yahoo email address because apparently Yahoo is the only company where you can't just use your Facebook to log in or use like a Gmail address because, it's Yahoo. So I now have a very pointless Yahoo email address that I will no doubt only use this time because by next year I'll forget the username. I'll forget the
make
password.
A new one.
Yeah. So
well, I'm pulling for you, Steve.
I appreciate that.
That way we don't have to develop a prize package.
Yeah.
Also,
I'll be sure to post a picture of me with our prize package.
Yeah.
If I win.
Also, because the person behind you named their bracket, Steve is my favorite. Kyle is okay.
I did see that.
Very offensive.
I like that.
Very offensive.
No, just great.
Oh, DJ down there tied for 10th. Wrestling is garbage. Hope you come in last. Don't know why I volunteered to do this.
Yeah. My hopeless bracket.
People just appear to be insulting.
Let's see. Oh, Verace's in there too. Verace from the Jersey Shore. Thank you, Verace. He's down in 17th place though.
Oh, nice.
That's not as good as second place.
Right? It's not very good.
No.
Even my mother, who literally forgot to pick a champion, is beating me.
Did she really?
Yeah, she is in 27th. She forgot to pick a champion and is still beating me and only has 16 less possible points than I have.
Boy, that's
a low point. Embarrassing. I want it on the record. I did 31 episodes. I could call it a long-running history of a sports podcast.
Yeah.
Where I doled out advice. Now, dare I say, though, I was better then. I feel like I've lost my touch in my sports prognostication. I mean, outside of Las Vegas, where I'm a bit of a bro.
So, getting back to what we were talking about, you started drinking on Thursday when the tournament started. Actually, before the tournament started, right? You went out to.
I was right when it started.
So you went out to a bar
Yep.
that you and your friends go to every year.
Every single year, go to this same bar, and watched the games. Left around 12:30, so we did 12 plus of drinking.
Okay.
Now, it wasn't like binge drinking. I think I ended about a beer an hour is what my average was. Went home, slept, woke up, kind of hung around the house, but Friday was St. Patrick's Day, and we had plans to go out, and I just wasn't in any mood to go out at like 11:30 in the morning because everybody else was working. And
right.
So we finally get out around 4 or 4:30. Oh, boy. And we were out until 2:30.
Nice.
So that's another 10. So like I said, crunching the numbers from Thursday to early Saturday morning, 22 hours of drinking.
Oh, boy, that's a lot. That's a lot of drinking.
22 hours.
Now, I was actually, I was somewhat planning on meeting up with you.
I thought I might see you Friday.
Friday night, yeah. But it was one of those things where I forget what I had done earlier in the night, but earlier in the afternoon. But I sent you a text at one point saying, "Hey, what are you guys up to?" Because I remember I had just gotten back from the gym. I still had to take a shower. We were still gonna do something for dinner. So at that point, I was still like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from going out. And you said, "Oh, we're here right now." You named a bar. You said, "We're here right now." So I replied and I said, "All right, cool. Keep me updated. Let me know if you stay there or not," or something like that.
Right.
And I'll meet up with you guys. And then I got to the point where I was really tired. So I looked at my phone. I'm like, "No, he didn't reply yet." So I mean, I guess I just have to go to bed now. Okay. Fell asleep so early.
Well, that's my bad. And
no,
part of that
it worked out perfectly because I slept for like 11 hours and I needed it and I felt great. And it was, if you had texted me back, I would have gone out.
Right.
But the fact that you didn't
did
not upset me one bit.
It was just juggling a lot of hats.
Yeah.
So there's about 2 days a year, Steve, where I get where it's like this big group mentality of people who all want to hang out. So it's Thanksgiving Eve, and where it's
home,
myself, my friends, family, and we're all out together. And it's one of my favorite night of the year, not just for drinking and all this, but just to see everybody together and mingling and being able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And St. Patrick's Day is apparently another version of that,
especially when it's on a weekend,
right? Which doesn't happen as very often. So I was kind of in charge of trying to get everybody together. Hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Where are we going? Where are we going? So it was this weird juggling of trying to get.
It's such an annoying position
to
be in.
I hate it.
I always feel bad texting somebody or asking somebody what the plan is who I know is in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I hate being in that situation.
It's awful.
Where you're getting the text from 5 different people. Hey, what time are you going to be there? Oh, I can't be there until like 5 o'clock. You still going to be there at 5 o'clock?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't.
Right. So we're at this bar, and it's hey, it's Katie and I at the start, but we have a total of like 12 people. Well, no bar in their right mind on a Friday is going to give a table for 12 to
if only
two
people are there. Yeah.
Oh, it's not that busy. No, it's awful. I hate it. I hate being in that spot. I don't like doing it, but I'm the only one who is free to do it, and apparently that was the mandate.
Right.
So. Yeah, we hit 3 bars, and part of my mandate on St. Patrick's Day is I go to the least Irish bars possible. I don't want to be a part of that.
Like Tony Luigi's.
Yeah, we finished the night at an Italian bar at the local one. You and I will do a Periscope from every now and again.
Oh yeah,
and we started at a place that calls itself a cafe, but windows are covered in beer logos and everything like that.
Okay.
It's a sports bar, right? And in the middle, we sandwiched in one of the finest drinking facilities this great town has to offer, Steve. It's a pub named after a road right by where we live. You've probably never set foot in there.
pub named after a road
Yeah,
right
God,
by where
I wish
we
I had a
live.
pen. I would write it down for you.
Yeah, type it and then hold that computer
Yeah,
up.
no, this is great. This is great. Hang on. Come on. Open up. Open up. You ever set foot in there?
Where is that?
Right across the street from a brewing company nearby us as well.
Oh, okay. All right, so I know where. Yeah, I've definitely never been there.
You don't know what you're missing.
Yeah.
So let me tell
Is
you.
it a prime spot for
I think I
St. Patty's
texted
Day?
you. Boy, I was drinking a little bit, but didn't I text you later that night?
I think that I got it. I remember getting a text from you the next morning.
Okay, I thought I texted you that night and said, hey, they just played, this DJ just played.
Yes.
Yeah, DJ playing Wayland.
Yeah.
And which was crazy to hear.
Yeah.
Right, I get the local, but so by the time we got to this place, it was about 9:30, and they had the dance floor with just balloons all over it, filled with upwards of 0 people.
Nice.
It's
good
a sports
turnout.
bar.
Good
It's not
turnout,
like
yeah.
that type of bar, though. I don't understand why they tried to do this.
Well, that's the thing, especially during the tournament.
Right.
That is the worst possible time to have any like outside entertainment.
Oh yeah. Or not entertainment.
Right, exactly.
Outside.
Yeah, like you don't want the local radio station doing an event or something because no one is there.
No.
Like no, and everyone knows that. Like if
Right.
you're going to a bar at noon on a Thursday, like the first Thursday of the tournament,
Right.
no one cares about anything except for what's on those TVs.
Exactly. And so I had to watch. I was there. It was right when my Michigan State, who was my basketball team, started their game. I had to watch this game like 25 feet away because the DJ was blasting Def Leppard behind me.
Trying to get people out onto the dance floor.
Yes. Yeah, and a few songs people came up, but it just wasn't that vibe. This is a place that had they had some lights on the wall, and every 15 minutes they'd come on. When they came on, there was like super, super cheap Irish car bombs and shots and things. So it's got it's a dive bar.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And but they were super amazing beer specials though. I got to go there more often, but then I saw the people and I
You realized
no,
this is a once a year place.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I hadn't been there in probably 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I remembered why. So like I said, didn't get home till 2:30. And I don't know if I've mentioned it explicitly on the podcast, Steve, but my 2 dogs, they're not like the lazy dogs you like that at that time you'd prefer.
Yeah.
So we get home at 2:30 and they've been, by themselves for 10 hours.
Playtime.
It's playtime. So my wife promptly fell asleep on the couch after about 20 minutes. And I played tug and fetch and whatever else until after 4.
Oh,
until I finally stumbled to bed. Tried to wake her up twice.
Yeah.
Said, I gave it the old college try.
She wasn't having it.
Not having it. I went to bed myself.
You didn't do the romantic thing where you carry her into the...
Yeah, that wasn't happening.
After 12 hours of drinking.
Right.
No.
So, went to bed, set my phone alarm, went off, must have smacked it, don't remember it, rolled over to see 10:53 on the clock, and I go, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
Missed the old gym by an hour and a half.
Just missed it.
Just missed it. So
That's
I
right,
did feel bad.
I held the place down without
Right,
you.
I
saw all the locals, chatted, sat around, and did my workout.
Have your morning coffee with all the regulars.
You made up for it though on Saturday. So you texted me with your tail between your legs.
I felt bad. I told you that.
And said that I overslept. I was out all day out all day, out all night. Because Annette had said, she was like, "There's no chance he's gonna make it after drinking." She's like, "He drank all day Thursday too, and all day Friday." I'm like, "Yeah." So the fact that you weren't there didn't surprise me at all. So we ended up meeting up Sunday morning instead.
Yeah.
We rescheduled. We went there and had a nice little workout. Did the whole circuit.
Yeah.
Did the running. Did some.
That was something.
Elliptical.
That was something because
Posted a video.
I mentioned it to you there that was the first time I've run in probably 6 months, and it never ceases to amaze me how much I hate
It's terrible.
running.
It's terrible.
And boy, did that hatred come back like a vengeance, and it didn't help. Normally, I can kind of drown it out. I was trying to catch up on on podcasts before while running, but the earbuds I brought were
falling out,
fancy, contoured, all this garbage, and they would not stay in my ear, so I just gave up. Watched the adorable Chip and Joanna Gaines, adorable the television,
Fixer Upper HDTV.
Right. I don't even know if they fix or renovate homes as much as they just look at each other with cute faces.
Oh, they are America's couple.
Well, I asked you while we were on the treadmill. I go, I get it. Like, people think they're cute, they're funny, but don't a lot of women like hate her because she's had like 5 kids and she looks like she could be like 31 with no children. She's like
beautiful,
105 pounds, gorgeous, and married to this lovable oaf who looks like he does nothing but sweat and tell fart jokes.
And talk about how much he loves his family.
Right.
Like, it's
right.
This guy, he figured out the combination, you know? He's got it. He has life down to a T.
So let's say over under on years, how many years until he is sleeping with like the nanny?
Oh man.
You don't think that's them?
Not going to happen.
Nobody thought John Gosselin would either, Steve.
That's true.
And then Kate was left with her 8. And now what do we got? They had to change the whole title of their show. Not John and Kate plus 8. Now it's just Kate with the 8.
Kate with
plus
the
8 or whatever the hell it was called.
Kate plus 8. Yeah, it's they are America's couple.
Right. But I honestly, all things considered, day at the gym, it wasn't overly long, a little over an hour. Well, the majority of our time at the gym was spent waiting to get a massage.
That's right. Yeah, we figured the only better way to end Steve and Kyle Day at the gym is with Steve and Kyle dual man massages, So we wait. Which sounds a lot worse than it really
was.
Right.
Well, we wait because there's this one guy in the room with 2 massage chairs.
Yeah.
So we waited what felt like an hour, but it was actually 15 minutes?
15 minutes, probably.
Yeah. So we sit there, we wait, we get in there, and I'm not good with massages. I'm ticklish, and 2, it's never done anything for me.
Yeah, man, I had that because, you sit down and you can adjust the settings. You can adjust the settings on your legs, on your back. I have that thing cranked up as high as it'll go to the point where it's painful, but it's that because my shoulders are sore and my back is sore, so I'm like, okay, this is painful, but I know that it's helping me, so I'm willing to deal with it for 10 minutes.
Man, I turned the back intensity down as low as it would go.
So you basically just sat in a comfortable chair for 10 minutes?
I cranked the legs up because I had a real tight calf or hamstring, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And carried over like I had a knot, and it just, first time back, I don't know what I'm doing over there. My shoes are like a decade and a half old that I'm running in. They have no business being on a treadmill, right?
You basically have Converse All-Stars.
Yeah, I might as well.
These are athletic shoes.
Look at the contour and the shape of the foot. All things considered, I'm 48 hours, a little more than that now. Sorry, closer to like 60 hours. Mm-hmm. Still sore.
Are you?
But I expected that, though, from your first time back for a while. But I listen, getting back on the wagon.
That's right.
Planning on going tomorrow.
Nice.
And I got to make this a 3 to 4 day a week thing.
Yep.
I'm not going to be the 5 to 6 day, just too much stuff going on.
I started my my new workout from my buddy Wayne.
Wayne hooked you up. I thought you and I were going to go through the Wayne circuit on Sunday.
Let me tell you, I went through the Wayne circuit yesterday and today, and I'm hurting.
Really?
I got home. I got in my car yesterday after the Wayne circuit day 1, and because he has me doing, it's split up over 4 days. So it's like day 1 was chest and triceps. Right. Today was back and biceps. Well, I left there yesterday. I got in my car, and I was pretty tired, which was good. Put my arms on the steering wheel, and I went to back out of the parking spot, and it was such a chore to turn that wheel. Like, you would have thought that my car had manual steering. Right. I was just like,
hey, Annette, my power steering went out.
Oh, jeez, someone help me.
Oh, man. But, so Wayne's not taking it easy on you.
Wayne is not taking it easy on me.
Man. So what did you say you're wearing to your wedding again? Apparel-wise. You're not doing a tux?
Not doing tux. I'm doing a suit.
A suit you own?
No. You
better wait to get that thing fitted.
I am.
You might need.
I'm not going to do it until September, maybe October.
Might need a little more room in the buys.
That's right.
The tries. the pecs.
Yeah, I mean, or I could just get it sized a little small and then like
make yourself work,
like rip out of it,
right?
At the wedding,
Hulk out
on the dance floor.
Well, we were doing because as true exercisers do, Steve, we were doing the Biggest Loser jump box.
Oh, yeah.
So we worked out. We got a little glute workout.
We did some.
You got to make sure you leave a little room in the pant legs and the back area.
Yep.
The bicep area of the upper body.
We did some high kicks. We did some leg.
We had to look like a couple of buffoons in there.
Man, nothing humbles you more than I mean, I've never been like a heavy gym user.
Right.
Like I've gone to the gym various times throughout my life, and those first couple of weeks where you're doing exercises and you're working on equipment that you've never or you've used but maybe not in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like kind of a creep because I just kind of stand back and if somebody else is on the equipment, I'll kind of watch them and I'll be like, okay, all right, that's exactly how I do it. Today I actually had videos pulled up of how to do certain exercises.
That's not bad.
Which the Wayne actually recommended to me. He's like, here, use this site here. They have if I'm not here and you have a question about anything, look it up on here. They have how-tos on every exercise.
Gotcha.
I'm like, oh, well, that's great. So, but even though you're watching the video and you see these people that are in immaculate condition,
doing it,
chiseled. I mean, not like. They're not sweating. They're just kind of glowing because they have perfect tans and like everything's great. I have stupid shorts and they have like really nice stuff and then I try to do the exercise they do in the same movement and the same form and like my arms are all over the place and I'm like kind of grunting. I'm like, oh God, is this how I do it? And
looking around for some affirmation from anybody. They give you like a thumbs up. Like,
yeah,
hey, you did that, what is it, the fly deltoid or whatever. You did that real nice, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, looking around like, right, guys? I did it.
Hi, guys. Right? Gym buddies.
Oh, boy. It's a humbling experience.
Now, did he have you on like the free weights or like the machines?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
The free weights are too intimidating for me because that's where the place we go to, obviously, you mentioned it, no lunks.
No lunks.
But does not stop the free weight bros to come out to play.
Exactly. There are plenty of people in there that the only thing keeping them from being a lunk is grunting. I mean, Everything else about them is like they have triangle necks and shirts with the sleeves cut all the way down.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's always like that's all they do. They don't utilize anything else there. They go straight there. They watch themselves do everything they can in the mirror.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky to get a machine or, one of those free weights in before they're set in for their 3-hour afternoon.
Yeah.
They want to see a pec move, before they can leave. It's those are always way too intimidating for me.
It is. It's not so bad there because I walk around and I'm like, okay, well, I feel terrible. But I look around and I'm like, I mean, not to be mean, but there are people there that need to be there a lot more than I need to be there.
Right.
And so I like it so far, though. I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's like hell while I'm there, but the whole time I'm just like, okay, just keep doing this. Keep doing this. You got this.
Right.
Drop 20 pounds and then just maintain for the next 60 years.
Now, what is that the goal? 20 down?
Yeah, it's actually 22 from where I was to where I want to be.
Okay. Very nice.
And I'm down 5.
Oh, wow. So, you're right at the rate. Before you know, you'll be able to stop going to the gym in June.
That's right.
It'll stay, right?
Yeah,
Is that how that works? Yeah. You get there in June, you're like, okay, now give me a 6-month pause. That'll get you through the wedding, the honeymoon, all the beaches and swimwear you need.
Yeah, and then I'm married, so I can just let myself go.
Point, what's she going to do, leave you? I mean, get real.
Yeah, till death do us part, dear.
Hey, well, I'll say this. She wasn't renovating the basement on her own. Okay, so she knows what's good for her. You pack on a few winter pounds, she won't leave you.
Yeah, so that's where we are. Well, so we'll hit it up, tomorrow? Yeah, what time are you going to be there?
See, we'll have to talk about it off there. Because I have some work things that I don't know when I can do it tomorrow. But I'm planning on going tomorrow because Katie doesn't work. So that's like free reign for me. If I need to do something after work, I can go do it. or even stop home, change, and then go do it. So
I could get you on the Wayne system if you want. We could do
talking,
Wayne Day 3.
We want to do Wayne's World?
Wayne's World tomorrow. It's I think shoulders and something else.
I did have a question for you.
Okay.
Did you ever follow up on what the total angel body full nutrition enhancement was?
That's right. I forgot. Last week we joked. It actually in the clip in this week's intro, I talked about like there's Alfredo on the Exerciser, which was basically the most generic name that I could think of for a piece of workout equipment.
Right, that doesn't exist.
And then we were standing there, and there was when we were waiting for the massage chairs the other day, we were standing there. We look at the wall, and there's a poster up for the ultimate full body workout, and to me, it looked like a stand-up tanning booth.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a spray tanner,
but it had all of these terms on it that, in no way, are real terms, like vibratherapy. So basically, you stand in a tube and it shakes you, which is barely any different than the Exerciser, like I talked about, where I said it reminded me of one of those old-timey videos where you see the big fat dude with no shirt on, and there's those thick rubber bands wrapped around your midsection, and it's just shaking someone.
What do you think works better, that garbage, or the old things you used to be able to attach to your stomach and would shock your abs into
Those things are you can still get them off of an infomercial, yeah.
Really, like same way, like shock, like actually, like if I'm just sitting here, like, hey Steve, no worries, but I got to get an hour of abs in.
Yeah.
So if you hear me ever seize up, that just means that.
Oh yeah, you can do it at work. You can do it while you're at the kids' soccer game. All this stuff is covered in the infomercial.
I need you to take this to the next step though, and be that guy at work who sits on a medicine ball.
I've thought about that.
Give honestly, up your chair.
I've thought
bring
about
in a ball. Like you're just going to be your head bobbing over the studio window. Hey,
I've thought of doing that. I've also thought of doing the standing desk.
Oh yeah, the up and down. Yeah.
In my situation, it wouldn't work because I sit and I look through a window into a studio.
You would block a line of sight and you'd block your own line of sight.
Yeah, I would instead, my head would be above the window.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I'd be staring directly at a wall.
You'd have a nice view outside. That's about it.
Yeah, maybe I can do some work in there and extend that window a little higher.
Listen, I know what every single renovation show would tell you to do.
Take that wall out.
You got to knock out a wall.
Yeah, you got
to knock out that wall.
I mean, everybody wants an open concept radio studio. Am I right?
2 booths into one, and you want to make that window you got now into a recess window so you can put your belongings there.
True, yeah.
You know?
Oh, a window seat.
Yeah, obviously.
A window seat. Recessed window, open concept room. Studio.
Obviously. Yeah. Well, I feel we need to write that down and send that over to HGTV. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. Oh. Well, I mentioned this last week to you, Steve. So my work situation, I am lucky enough to work with a kid, somebody who I'd call a friend, who is 22 years old. Mm-hmm. Worked with him last year when he turned 21. So I've been able to live through his youth.
Yeah, you're like, plus no doubt, guiding him through his late adolescence into adulthood. As soon as
he listens, I will be guiding him through his late adolescence into young adulthood. But it's the same way, man. When I was 21, 22, do you want to listen to somebody who just turned 30 tell you about what to do with women or whatever, right?
No, of course not.
So last year he was in a relationship that he had been in since he was like 15 years old. So, and he was at college.
First love.
Yeah. So he went back to college in August or September, came back this May, and things were kaput with the old ball and chain.
So he made it not even through a freshman year of school.
No, he graduated.
Oh.
So he made it all the way.
Okay. I thought you were. Never mind. Sorry.
So he made it. So essentially, he got to live about 2 months of his college life single. Mm-hmm. And he told me, well, the only thing I regret is I wasn't able to do it longer. You know. But it's been interesting since he's been back. You know, I haven't dated in 5 years, something like that, since obviously I dated Katie and married her. And, well, this is a kid, he's all over the market, right? So he's all over Tinder and doing the whole thing. So usually about 2-3 times a week I get a nice update on, like, what's going on. Mm-hmm.
What the kids are doing
anybody
these
new
days.
in the life, what his plans are. Yeah. And we're always, always revolves around the same. So now I'm even losing track. I feel so out of touch. I'm losing. He's told me about 4 different women that he's going to go on a date with, and then something happens weird, whatever, right? But I always have questions. So this is the one thing that I can't get my mind off of. We'll be sitting. We're on our way back to the office after our day, and I remember a specific example. It was 2:42 p.m. Mm-hmm. This was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we've been talking about what he was going to text this one girl, like, for a couple hours. About, I forget even what about. Mm-hmm. No, I'm going to wait 18 minutes. And
18 minutes?
Wait a minute. What? Because tell me, and I asked him, what is the difference between 2:42 and 3 p.m.? Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to seem too eager. She's not going to know the difference if you waited 18 minutes. If you ask her in 3 days, what time did I text you the other day? I don't know, round 2, round 3? No. It was exactly 3. It was not a minute earlier. Why?
All right. So the games are still there. They're just a little bit different.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, he's asking me, and we're floating ideas around how he needs to word this certain thing when he's asking a question. And I'm like, oh my God, there is so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
And it makes me so glad when I started dating Katie, because I was already too old at that point for me to do this nonsense, right? To where I said, hey, I swear a lot, I gamble, I like to drink, and I like sports. So
you're putting all your cards on the table.
We're going to start there, okay? Right. And we're going to work our way.
If you can find something in that pile that you find mildly attractive.
Right. Here we go. I got 4 or 5 rotten banana peels on this ground. Now, if you can stand to live with those,
because they're not going away,
right? In different shapes or forms, there's going to be a while where I'm going to want to gamble a lot. And that one's going to stink a lot more. Yeah. There's going to be a time where they're all going to be recessed, and you're going to think, "Wow, look at the man he could be," and then you're going to remember, "I'm never going to be that man because then I'm going to start drinking."
Yeah.
So it makes me feel so happy to be done with that.
You don't have to deal with it.
Because can you imagine fretting over sending a text at 2:42 or 3 in the afternoon?
No. And what was can you give any of the content of the text?
I'm trying to remember. Because he was supposed to be going on a date the following day with this girl.
Now, he's met her or no?
Met is an understatement.
Okay.
So
they've met.
They've met before. Okay. So they were going to go on a date.
Okay. The
following day, but he was feeling weird about it because she had been standoffish, whatever, and so we're trying to.
Was she standoffish when they met?
Hard to be standoffish when you meet.
Okay.
So it was a weird digression, right? Mm-hmm. Or it's going backward,
right?
To a degree.
Yeah.
But still, and I'm thinking, no, you're overthinking it. And again, I feel out of touch. So he's trying to think about a way to figure out if this is still on without coming off like, hey, we still doing this, eager beaver type of deal. And so he figures out this proper way to word it, and comes in the next day and goes, yep, said she wasn't ready to go on a date. I go, you were right. I can't freaking believe it. Wait. After all that, I called him an idiot. I'm like, no, dude, you're overthinking it, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm not in there. Because I'd be like, oh, all right. Well, I don't know what went wrong there.
So even though they've met,
right,
she doesn't want to go on a date with him.
I don't know how he deals with women. And I'm saying this as a man. I can guarantee you it's just as frustrating for women of that age as well.
Sure.
At that age group, the means they do.
Is she's the same age as him?
Yeah. Both 21, 22.
Same range.
And I say that because that is head-scratchingly baffling. Mm-hmm. To be able to do hey, met you this weekend, and then talk and hang out a few more times, and then, hey, you want to go out to dinner Thursday? That's all it was.
Nope.
I'm not ready for dates. Wait, what?
Okay.
How are you ready to meet, but you're not ready? You're not ready to go on a date.
It's weird because stereotypically you would think it would be the other way around.
Listen, Steve.
The gender roles are very fluid these days, though.
In my day, you go to dinner, then you meet. Maybe.
In my day, you pick her up at her parents' house.
Oh, yeah.
Shake Pop's hand. Maybe have a conversation with him about what your intentions are for his daughter.
Yep.
And then months later, perhaps you hold her hand.
You're darn right. It was a bit slower.
Simpler times they were.
You tightened that bow tie. You walked up to the door. You made sure your belt was on straight and your shoes were tied, and you shined them.
Sure.
You don't just show up in an athletic shoe.
Yeah, you got to make sure your ascot is not causing wrinkles in your shirt.
Can you imagine meeting somebody's dad, Steve, back in our day, with your cufflinks backward?
Oh, the embarrassment.
Can you imagine being shamed away from that home on Sunday brunch because your cufflinks are backward?
Right, Sunday brunch. Oh, the stories they would tell.
Right. No, so it's just fun, man. And so it's like a treat every time I get to work with them, which it's 2 to 3 days a week usually that I get to.
So you get an update
to ride with them, and it's like.
But at that age, though, man, the age that he's at, every story is probably completely different.
Oh, it's insanity.
Because there's no consistency. It's always somebody new. And
it's insane because he had dated this woman for, and God, I hope he's okay with me talking about this. He dated this woman for like 6 months, and then things didn't work out. And far as I'm concerned, it came out of literally nowhere.
Yeah.
And then to see him Monday, and he's like, "Hey, I met someone." I mean, not like a girlfriend or anything, but he met someone.
Right.
And then the next week, hey, so I was talking to Danielle's. Wait a minute. I haven't seen you in like 4 days.
Who's Danielle?
Who's that? And getting caught up. Man, I feel like I missed out.
You're emotionally invested into this.
Oh, I have to be. I have to be because I've known the kid for a year and a half now. Yeah. And so hearing these stories, like I get to hear it on a personal level because I know him, so I know all this. Never met a single one of his friends, nothing like that, but I know all of his friends' names. Like, oh yeah, I can't believe that guy's still with that girl. Right? Yeah. I can't believe it either. Man, I feel like the dad in a sitcom who's like trying to be cool.
Trying to keep up.
Yeah. Like I'm a young Tim Allen, and trying to get caught up. Like, oh yeah, boy, I hear that about that one. I can't believe she's dating that fella.
You wanna borrow the Mustang and take her to the drive-in?
Maybe a nice milkshake will cheer her up.
Take her to the sock hop.
Right. And just, I don't know, for my money, whenever I went out when I was younger, it was like, hey, where's happy hour or whatever. Now he's telling me about $9.50 vodka Red Bulls that he drinks all night. His tabs are like hundreds of dollars. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm worried about, you know what my big adventure was yesterday? I put a blue tarp over my firewood so it wouldn't get wet. Right, that's a big deal for me because if I want to fire in a month, my wood's going to be nice and ready to fire up.
Well, you're living the life, aren't you?
Right. So, let me tell you, the tarp wasn't cheap. So I had to cut back.
Right.
On the vodka Red Bulls, obviously.
He looks at you. Your 21, 22-year-old friend looks at you like you are his father.
Absolutely. Has to. And it makes me feel terrible.
Yeah, because I remember, like, when I was that age, I remember anyone that was that much older than you may as well have been 70.
You're 5 years older than me?
I'm 35. Almost
so
36.
You were not this much disparity, but it was getting there when I was an intern on the radio show.
Yeah.
That was 2000. I was an intern in 2010. So I was a little older. I was 23.
Okay. Yeah, and I would have been 20, 28, 29.
Right. So it was that similar type of gap.
Yeah.
But for me, it was never to his degree because I was interning 2 days a week at 5 in the morning, and then I was working a full-time job. But still, like, it's weird to look back because I don't remember coming up to you and be like, "Hey, man, wild night with the ladies last night."
No, not at all. Not at all.
Different.
Although every now and then I do see a photo pop up on Facebook of you signing your signing your receipts.
Yeah.
As fists.
Right, and that's the difference.
Hey, Sadie, you banging.
See, that's the difference, though. This kid is a young, handsome fella. I was getting by. That's the best way I can think about putting it. But oh man, I can't. I can't imagine. It terrifies me.
It's a different world,
right? Because I think about that. Like if Katie wised up tomorrow and said, "Dude, I'm out of here."
What have I done?
Right. I've wasted too long on you.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
You invite all of your friends over.
Right.
We watch wrestling, and I hate it.
I don't know what I'm doing. If she leaves me tomorrow, I'm going to move into a one-bedroom apartment because she's obviously keeping the house. I can't afford that thing. And then I come to the slow realization I'm a 30-year-old with no hair. Well, some. With a receding hairline, bad knees. I wear a compression sleeve at softball.
But you got a podcast.
But I got a podcast.
Things are looking up.
I think that's what I would do. I think if Katie left me tomorrow, I would put on a profile that I work in media. And if they ask, what do you do? So, well, I don't know if you've heard of it. But
work in a multimedia field. I mean, audio, video.
It's a Stephen Cup podcast. Never heard of it.
Oh, may have heard of us from the softball team.
Yeah, we're going to sponsor one next year. No big deal.
So sure, it's a lot of money, but
everybody probably does it. But we got a little coin to throw around. No big deal. like that would be my pickup line. Like, I do a podcast once a week.
I used to work with a guy that he did that all the time.
Oh,
he was let's see, this is when I was 23, probably 24, and there was the group of radio stations that I worked for. The one guy hosted a morning show, and at that point he was probably, I'm gonna say 40 at the time, and he was single, and he was notoriously single. And there was every week the one station would do like a happy hour event at this one bar right on the shore, and it was awesome, and outside deck and cheap beer, so we'd all go there. And I watched him numerous times walk up to women that were way out of his league, and he'd say, "Do you listen to the radio in the morning?"
Oh, no.
Yes. You listen to such and such, Jason? Sometimes. No, I'm so-and-so from the morning show.
Oh.
And then that awkward blank stare of like, okay. It was as if you were saying like, I do any other. I'm an accountant. Okay, cool.
Dude, yeah. Can you imagine doing that?
No.
Like having the gall to do that, the nerve to go out and actually like approach about what you do.
No.
It's terrible. That's terrible. Oh my God. By the way, the noise I had made when you said that reminded me. We have some audio. Did you load that?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know how else to get to it.
Nope.
It has to be gotten.
I knew it was gonna. I was going to remind you.
Okay. Because last week, and this has happened. This is the second major time it's happened, Steve.
Yeah. This is.
But it's been like 20 weeks. Yeah. It's been forever.
They've been isolated incidents.
Yeah. So I was working on these last night while Katie was making dinner, and she goes, "I didn't hear anything. What are you guys talking about?" And then I'm in the audio software because I have it time marked, and I boost it like 25 times just to get this to come up. So last week,
how we heard it is
unbelievable.
I don't get it.
So you have to remind me how I titled them.
Well, I had to shorten the titles a little bit so I could see them. But I know. So we have Stomach 1 boosted, Stomach 2,
right.
Stomach 2 boosted.
That's right. Now I remember. I titled them Steve's Stomach Buster or Chest Burster or whatever.
Yeah,
tries to come out to play.
I think it was Stomach Buster because I'm trying to read it. I'm like, Steve's Stomach Buster. What is this? But I loaded them in here. I didn't listen to any of them.
So if you play the first one, this is literally as it sounded on the podcast. If you listened within the last week of what stopped us in our tracks the first time.
Okay, so this is exactly as it sounded.
Yes.
Yeah, so the whole thing is he's spinning. Ooh, you hear that one? That was a good one, too.
Chair creak. I didn't hear it.
All right, so I'm talking.
I heard a chair creak in there.
I'm talking. I paused. We both reacted.
Yes. Now, this is, like I mentioned, boosting it an insane amount.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, so the whole thing is he's spinning. Ooh, hear that one? That one too.
Chair creak. I didn't hear it.
Now, I know part of that noise was the chair creak.
Right, but the second half of that, the second one's more clean.
Hold on, I want to hear this one again. Yeah, so the whole thing is he's spinning. Hear that one? That thing, it was talking too.
Chair creak. I didn't hear it.
It's talking in tongues.
Now, I forgot to totally isolate them. I should have sent you a third of each. But those have to go into that has to go into the file.
Yeah.
That has to go into the file that we're going to have to make a whole new folder at this point of Steve's body noises. That's the greatest one.
There's one. There's two. And then we will add 3 and 4. Of course, that right up there with... and then this one...
I don't know why. I feel like I haven't heard that one in a while. What the hell was that? Was that like an after the fact? Were you almost going to throw up? I totally forgot about that one.
It's labeled Steve Cough Burp.
Because you're obviously coughing. But to me, that sounds like the end of a coughing fit where you're going to... It feels like you're like a half a second away from throwing up like if you cough again. Like, seriously.
All right,
so this is the last one. This was no more than 15 minutes after the first instance.
Okay, this is the first one is just how it sounded on the podcast. Yep. Nintendo just released again. Man, I can't wait to hear these. I'm a gassy mess. I hear nothing. So here it is now boosted. Nintendo just released again. Man,
that thing is like
a gassy mess.
That thing is like a frog. That thing is coming out to play.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Nintendo just released again. Man, it definitely said a word. I'm a gassy mess. Oh, God.
It is crazy to me that has now happened twice.
Yeah.
Separate occasions, weeks and weeks and weeks apart. Oh, man.
Oh, awful. Absolutely awful.
You know, one thing we never talked about last week, we've been talking about WrestleCast, right?
We have talked about WrestleCast.
We talked about WrestleCast last week. Obviously, the newest edition of the Stephen Kyle Podcasting Network.
Yeah, Living in
Style Network, or
Living in Style Podcast Network.
Living in Style Podcast Network. At least one new edition, possibly another one in the hopper. We're looking to make this thing an unpaid empire.
That's right.
We really want to make sure we can still get $0 and add more costs.
Yeah,
and time. I think that's the key to a successful network. You start off with no money, keep draining money, and take on more responsibility.
Yeah.
So we're talking about doing this WrestleCast next week, which it's happening. That's a done deal. The newest edition,
WrestleCast,
Living in Style,
WrestleCast
Podcast Network,
WrestleCast.
And one thing we forgot to mention: you can't have a wrestling podcast, Steve, without a wrestling name. Right. So when we were out for my birthday 2 weeks ago, we had to come up with a wrestling name for you. And you were lucky enough to be in the presence of two of the best wrestling promoters.
Yeah, two wrestling greats.
Two greats to help you develop your own name.
Yeah.
So, everybody, I need you. Well, I have to give it now.
Well, you have to tell what, because I don't think you've ever said what your your alter ego is.
Right. My alter ego, my wrestling name is Billy Backdraft.
Right.
Obviously named for the terrible fire.
So you burn people.
Well,
when they open the door and oxygen is in your presence.
I mean, obviously, Steve. I mean, it doesn't have to be taken that literally. The Undertaker literally doesn't make the person into a tombstone. Okay? I mean, it's an asinine way to look at it.
I like to take things literally.
We have to get this out of you before we have you as a co-host / producer next week of WrestleCast. So the co-host name is Dirk Deadlift. So we have a combined finisher. He has his own finish. It's no big deal. That's all.
What's your combined record?
Combined record? That's 0-0.
Okay. All right.
But listen, we're looking to make it on the indie scene. Big deal.
We're going to be wrestling at a high school gymnasium near you.
Stay tuned for the cons. We'll be signing our 8x10s, $20 a pop. You can get a picture given our little hand symbol for an extra 10. Some terrible money grab. I aspire to be Randy the Ram from The Wrestler.
Yeah.
Aching, terrible, playing SNES in a trailer, and wrestling underneath a backboard.
Okay.
In a gym.
Those are some aspirations right there.
So, we had to come up with a name for you, like we mentioned.
Yeah.
And on the spot, it took less than, 2 minutes?
Yeah, probably about 2 minutes. Just sitting there waiting for drinks to be brought out by the bartender.
So I need to introduce everybody to Steve E. Tortellini.
So we're hearkening back to the days where every wrestler was either named after a job or their country of origin.
Or hellacious fire. So, Stevie Tortellini.
Whoa. Steve E. Tortellini. E is the middle initial.
So, the entire gimmick for Steve is that he gets offended when people call him Stevie because it's Steve, middle initial, E, last name, Tortellini.
Yeah.
So, he gets mad when people call him Stevie.
Yeah, because that's the real offensive part of the name. I mean, that's something to get really angry about.
So he's mad that people are calling him a kid's name, and you get what do you give him, Steve? We came up with your finisher, even.
Oh, that's right. I'd completely forgotten about it.
Oh, come
on. My finisher is basically I ball up my fist and punch people in the groin, but before doing that, I shout out to the crowd, "That's a one spicy meatball!"
Oh my god. The joy that brought me the first time and just now, I don't think it'll ever change. Because in my mind, there's going to be it's again, high school gym.
Right.
And there's this idiot on the mic. So yeah, bring out Stevie. Bring him on, I'm going to beat him up. And you're
whoa.
You're the Godfather theme music hits. And
right,
you walk out to the ring and you go, whoa, Frankie Karate.
Is that who I'm fighting, or is that
Obviously.
a commentator?
No, it's your opponent.
Okay.
And he's got a red belt.
Frankie Karate.
And you
not even a black belt.
I mean, he wouldn't be wrestling if he was.
Right.
So, and he was, hey, that's a one spicy meatball.
No. Hey, it's meatball.
Meatball. That's right. So it's three.
And when you do it, you have to have to do it where like your thumb, your pointer finger, and your middle finger are all touched together, right. And you're shaking them in front of you. That's a spicy meatball.
I think this gimmick is going to get over with the crowd because they're going to know when it's coming. Because the guy's going to be like standing up wobbly, and you're going to be dropped down to one knee, and you're just going to turn to the crowd. And they're all going to start doing that with their hands and fingers. So that is what we came up with with you, and I hope you know how much joy that brings me. Outside of the overt racism. But you have some news. Because you told me you think you have a new wrestling name that you came up with on your own, which obviously more than encouraged.
Right. Well, I thought maybe if I want to turn heel at some point.
Right, you got to be the bad guy.
Got to have an alter ego. So I was thinking, since I've been hitting the gym lately, getting in good shape, I'm going to be Mac Swole.
No.
Mac.
Okay, M-A-C-K.
M-A-C-K. Swole.
Mac Swole. Oh, boy, I like it. Well, the only thing we're going to run into is we're going to have two, workout guys in our stable then. So obviously we have Dirk Deadlift.
Oh, yeah.
But Max Swole,
I'm willing to take him on to be the only guy.
Is really too hard to pass up.
Maybe loser leaves the company.
Right.
Fight.
Right. Loser leaves the stable. That's the only way this works.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to dish that out on WrestleCast.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Again, WrestleCast is going to be a Steve & Kyle podcast production leading up to WrestleMania, which is next week. What is it, April?
It's a little less than 2 weeks, so a week and a half Sunday. Yeah.
So yeah, look for WrestleCast, at some point late next week. So probably around March 28th, 29th, 30th, something like that.
All goes well before the weekend next week, before WrestleMania. Even if you're not into wrestling, I think this is going to be fun and funny to listen to. It's not going to be super over the top, breaking down everything. It's going to be more fun than anything. I've wanted to do a wrestling discussion for a long time. I think it'd be fun. We could even do... we could even take calls.
Yeah.
Open up the phone. No, we got to figure that out, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, because we'd have to tweet out.
But to tweet out that Google Voice number. Well, I can make. That's what I'm going to do. I got to do that. I got to rig.
Well, that's
fine.
We're going to do that. We just need to come up with.
And you can ask
because they're not going to be able to listen live, but we can tell them, we're
call in with
we're talking about the
right. Call in with your burning WrestleMania questions to Steve and Kyle and Jason right now. And then you get to specify. You can either ask all of us, one of us, or just Steve.
Yeah,
that's like the preference. I want everybody to just ask Steve, hey man, what do you think about this match Sunday? Who do you think's gonna come out on top?
Oh man, it's a tough one. I've been thinking about this one all week.
Right. So yeah, wrestling. That's exciting. And like I said, there's a possible another one in the hopper to add to the Steve and Kyle Podcast Network.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of news, a lot of circulating things, a lot of things in the hopper.
If you have a podcast idea and you want on the network, we've been talking about you pay your fee to get in this Living in Style Podcast Network.
Mm-hmm.
We'll distribute your podcast. Might talk about it, but you're in the network.
Yeah.
You got to let us know.
But don't think you're coming to the house to record.
No, that's limited souls. We've
not
got,
coming to the APS.
The WrestleCast is going to be recorded from the APS. And a possible other edition that you're working on right now might be recorded from the house.
I'm courting someone as we speak.
Shouldn't it be the other way? Like, do businesses go out and... Well, no, I guess we're courting clients.
No, yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
We're a major syndication.
Oh,
major syndication company right
Watch
here.
Out, East Coast or West Coast or whatever coast.
So you had sent this video, and I think you said something like great whites are attacking everyone now.
Well, listen, it's happening. I actually want to go back and listen to the episode I talked about my Hawaii trip, Steve.
Yeah.
Because I believe I said the words that I had looked up the shark attacks on Hawaii to see how frequent and when the last one was, because what did I say? I said they're due. They were due.
They're due for one.
When I went there, they had been they were averaging about one a month, and it had been over 2 months before I went there.
Man.
Hard pass.
Lucky you survived.
It's amazing that I survived, and it just goes to show my true warrior spirit. Also, didn't get near the water.
So you sent this video. Now, there's not a whole lot of audio to it, but I'll link it in the description, and it's definitely a little scary. So give us a description.
Well, it's this guy in Maui, and obviously it's scenic Hawaii. So you kayak, you paddleboard, you do all this stuff in the ocean, and for the most part, sharks do leave the islands alone. It's pretty rare, especially for a great white. Great whites usually go up the coast.
Yeah.
But so this guy was just kayaking, and as usual, as good kayakers and paddleboarders do, Steve, he brought a GoPro along.
Yeah.
And now I'm assuming, because we didn't watch the whole video, and it's about a 7.5-minute video, but he must have seen it before he put his GoPro down.
Yeah,
because he's literally by himself.
Yeah, when the video picks up, when the video starts, it's just him in a kayak, just paddling along,
right,
kind of looking around.
Which already, what do you think people watch more of? Generic kayaking video or person holding phone up at a concert and jumping with the song they like? What is the worst video to watch?
Oh, boy. I would imagine that, well, in this guy's case, I would imagine that the only reason he has that GoPro is for this. Right. Because chances are he turns it on when he goes out, gets back, deletes that video because nothing happened.
Good point. So at least he's self-aware that his videos might suck.
Right, yeah. He's just, this is a gold mine for him.
Right. So he sees this, and as he's kayaking, and I didn't even notice that. He has that's his oar, isn't it?
I'm not sure, honestly. Yeah, it's frozen in a weird spot, so I'm not really sure.
And so he just sticks the camera underwater.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, they move very fast, picks up, I would guess, probably a 12 to 14-foot great white shark just hanging out next to his kayak.
No biggie.
Not on top of him.
Camera's in the water.
Oh,
boy.
Oh, nope.
That's a big shark. It's a big shark.
It's amazing how calm he is.
The only thing I'm thinking, well, no, I was going to say, I was thinking maybe he couldn't see it and he was just dunking the camera in there thinking, I'll watch this later. But the water, I mean, it's pretty clear there, I would think. I guess depending on how far out he is.
Right.
Either that or this is going to end up being one of those hoax videos. Remember like the one where girl snowboarding with the bear chasing her? That
fell
was
for
fake.
that.
The lightning strike one was
fell
fake.
For that. Yep, fell for the
there was another shark
eagle
one.
taking the shark one I brought
Eagle
you.
picking up the kid. Yeah, the shark one you brought. This is
boy,
crazy,
I don't know though, because this. So what's terrifying about this is it's not just like an encounter like great white shark comes on by and that's it. This thing followed him for more than 1 hour.
Oh boy. Oh, that shark is just waiting. Waiting for lunch.
So let me ask you. You paddleboard or kayak, whatever. Mm-hmm. You're in the ocean. You stick your camera down there and you see 12 to 14-foot shark. What's your first reaction?
Get to shore. Get to shore and don't turn back.
He stayed on the kayak for an hour. Like, he probably wasn't going to hurt me. Just hang out.
Yeah.
No, those are ancient beasts who are coming to take us from our livelihoods.
Yeah, they're killing
You
machines.
need to move. They love the taste of human flesh. Now, every documentary is going to tell you different. But look at the science.
But you know.
Look at the science. This thing wanted lunch and was willing to settle for an elderly man and was willing to eat him and the kayak if it needed to be. So I think it's safe to say I got lucky. This could have been me.
You just missed it. That shark was looking for you.
Right,
it settled on this guy.
Less than 3 months away, Steve.
Yeah.
From being on a different island near that location, but that could have been me.
Boy, that's about as close as it can get.
You don't really know what you got till it's almost gone. You know?
Are you having like a little kind of PTSD?
Yeah. I'm not sleeping well.
Like unrelated PTSD?
Just walk up and hug my wife. Say thanks for being here. I sat down here at the podcast table and, really drank in the grain of the countertop. Because you never really know when it's going to be the last time.
It could be it, yeah.
You can bump a microphone and make a noise.
Yeah, there might not be an episode, 30,
35?
34, 35.
You never know. I'm just saying, count your blessings. Don't go to Maui. If you do, for the love of God, don't go in the water. Because the only reason I sent this was because last week I sent the link that great white shark sightings are crazy high in Cape Cod, Massachusetts right now.
Yeah.
They're coming. They're coming. And we don't have Tara Reid right now. She's not ready to save us.
Kyle, I want to thank you for your strength for being able to talk about this, despite nearly almost being in the same spot 3 months earlier.
On a different island.
On a different island than...
But those islands are small,
than
Steve.
A shark.
You can't discredit it because those islands are small. And we don't know how big the family of sharks was that she was with. We all know sharks roll in packs. They're just like wolves.
Yeah, like a den. They live in a den.
Maybe that guy was in the shark den.
Just out of the shot, there were a bunch of other sharks.
Baby sharks.
Forks and knives and little napkins tied around their shark necks.
If you look, there's probably baby sharks on their backs, like looking to get belly rubs, all down on the, on sea level, and the mama was just trying to protect her baby sharks.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, man,
no science to dispute it.
The fact that you survived is remarkable.
Thank you. I've been really trying.
So, in another sea-related story, you got $100,000.
Boy, we have talked about how much did we say the trip to the moon was?
It's in the...
Was it the millions?
It's
right?
in
20 million?
It's in the tens of millions.
And that was just to go around it, right? You don't even get to go on the moon?
It's like a week-long trip. You go out around the moon and come back. And that's going to be a SpaceX thing, I think, in
privatized
2018 or 2019.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So I saw this and I thought, I don't know if I would prefer to go the other way. Starting next year, a private company, I didn't see the name, is going to start offering
Blue Marble Private.
Blue Marble Private is starting to offer a trip to the Titanic. Well, the remains of the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean.
Yes.
For the small fee of $100,000, I think it's $105,000,
$100,000,
something like that.
Now, keep in mind that I had no idea how deep
That's crazy.
the Titanic was.
And it's in the North Atlantic, so it's always cold.
Yeah, I assumed that it was, I don't know why, but I thought it was like 1,000 feet down, which still is, I mean,
a lot,
that's
right? But not insane.
It's 12,500 feet below the surface of the North Atlantic.
Man, oh man! No, if you can scroll down a little bit, I think it gives, because it costs like I said, $100,000.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, so the actual price
tag of $105,129 per person is equivalent in today's dollar. Wait a minute. What?
Yeah. So inflation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a first class ticket on the Titanic costs $4,350. So that's in 1912. Already, that's an insane amount, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jack won it at a game of poker.
Right. Can you believe that?
And then he met
Rose.
Rose.
Yep, Jack and Rose.
Yep.
Always room on that piece of wood. But that if you take into account inflation, it's the price tag is identical to what that costs you today.
Yeah.
So $105,000. So it's kind of, I don't know if they're doing it for symbolism or whatever.
Sure.
So what caught my eye on this, now this is obviously a much more luxurious trip. You're not going to be in a crazy tube that you have to eat MREs in space and vacuum seal your poop out the window or whatever. You get a helicopter ride. You get to take them to Newfoundland, and then you take a yacht to the site right where it crashed.
Okay.
I think it's like an 8-day trip is what it comes out to. Yeah,
right.
8-day trip.
So 8-day trip. So you're about what, $13,000 a day.
Right. Helicopter ride, yacht ride. You get to see this, which is obviously historically massive to be able to see, right?
And then they drop you down there.
They drop you down. Now, here's what caught my eye, because there's so many in any trip like this. The liability's got to be insane, right? So insurance and everything that they're doing. You take a zip line 20 feet off the ground, and you have to sign a waiver, and you're taking 3 harnesses and all this stuff. So for this, they're going to send you down to the remains, 12,500 feet.
Yeah.
In, how do they describe it? Titanium and carbon fiber, a submersible. So going to be one of those little circles, I'm guessing, that they just drop. So the remains of the Titanic are at 12,500 feet. The margin for error, Steve. So this submersible, they make it, and they just gloss over this, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
It can descend to depths of 13,100 feet.
Yeah.
There's a 600-foot margin for error. That's not enough.
That is not nearly enough.
What is the percentage on that? 600?
Well, it would be one thing if it said like, oh, this thing's good up to 30,000 feet, and you were at 20,000.
That's fine.
Yeah, no problem. But the percentage is way too low.
That is a 4%. But that's stupid.
Not nearly enough.
That's 600 feet difference. So if literally anything goes wrong, even with the submersible or wherever you are, I don't know. I'm just saying. Call me the opposite of a risk taker. That sounds awful. I would be I would not be remotely excited about oh my god, this is going to be amazing. I can see the remains of a ship that literally only dozens of people have seen, and be able to look at all these artifacts that they haven't touched, all this stuff. The whole time down, I'd be, oh boy, oh god.
So how long are you actually down there?
I heard it takes a couple of hours to get down there.
Okay, yeah, I would assume so because of the pressure,
slowly, all that stuff, right?
But because it said it's an 8-day trip, you're not down there for days at a time.
That's a good point. What are you going to do? I mean, it's for the most part, it's a barnacle-ridden piece of steel that's slowly disintegrating into the ocean floor.
Yeah. Huh.
What do you do for the other 7?
Participants can expect Titanic-level luxury. Well, that's not a really good example because the boat sank.
They died.
During the 8-day trip. A helicopter, okay, like you said, the yacht. Weather permitting, the little sub can take up to 3 people down to the wreck day and night, accompanied by a pilot and deep ocean expert. Okay, so that's cool. At least the expert will be able to point out what you're looking at.
So can you just be 2 a.m, you've been drinking with your significant other in your hotel room on the yacht or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, we want to go down.
Jacques Cousteau, get me to that wreck.
Fire up the ball. We want to go south. And we're bringing the booze.
I'm pretty sure that's the terminology that you fire up the ball. We want to go south.
I mean, to get to the Titanic, it's it's down, right? I mean, if you're looking at
down
it,
to
you go
south,
straight down south. So 12, but it is pretty cool. So to be able to do this, it says that the Titanic has seen fewer visitors than have ever been to space or even been to the top of Mount Everest.
That's crazy.
Also, less chance of dying.
Yeah,
probably
12,500 feet. Yeah,
$100,000. Let's say we did this with the SpaceX.
The space thing.
So let's say your yearly salary, let's call it $1 million.
Okay.
You doing this for $100,000?
$100,000, yeah. Man. This is so much easier than the space
easier.
thing. I mean, the space thing was in like
20 million in
tens
range.
of millions.
Right.
That's a lot.
Man, I think I'm too scared by the idea that 600-foot margin isn't enough for me. Like, I need at least a 2,000-foot margin before I can do that.
What if like a little crevasse opens up and you happen to slip into that?
The Challenger, the astronauts on the Challenger died because a piece of foam fell off.
Yeah.
Or was it the Columbia or whatever? But a piece of foam
Columbia,
fell off before re-entry.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to go to 12,500 feet of pressure in a carbon fiber submersible? No. You make that thing 15,000 feet compatible, then we'll talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. The margin of error is a little troubling, but I think I'd still do it.
That'd be cool to see, though. I think I'd rather see that than the peak of Everest.
Oh, definitely.
You think so?
Everest, it doesn't, I don't know. I'm sure it's incredible. I'm sure it's the greatest thing in the world, but it doesn't, this interests me a lot more than that.
Right, but by the time you get to Everest as well, your body is nearly drained and you probably lost 2 friends.
But either way, you're going to see a lot of dead people.
There you go.
Can you still see skeletons in Titanic, do you think?
Oh, there can't be bones, right? Those have to be...
I think they're disintegrating because that's what they say. The reason it's so well preserved is because the water is so cold and there's no oxygen in the water that would lead to decomposition, or not decomposition, but like the breaking down of the actual bones.
Can you still see skeletons at the Titanic?
What's Google say?
I'm going to say no. Okay, so are there human remains? I've seen 0 human remains of visibly miffed Titanic director James. Oh, boy, that can't be.
Someone's so pissed about the movie.
Oh, boy, there's actually a whole article. Are there human remains at the Titanic wreck site? 340 of the victims of those were found floating. Oh, boy. I've seen 0 human remains of visibly miffed Titanic director James Cameron told the New York Times. I don't know why he's upset about that.
That's probably one of those questions you're not supposed to ask. I bet he gets asked.
Oh, you're right. You're right. That is, yeah. I get that.
Yeah. That's like when you ask, like, hey, you ever kill someone, to someone who's, been in the military.
Right. And it's crazy to me. Because there's a new photo, I think, of the last lifeboat, supposedly. I see what the issue is. And people say, oh, look, there's a body or whatever. Newly released photos suggest some of the unlucky travelers' remains are mixed in with the wreckage. I guess I could see that how it would be offensive because
sure.
I was at the USS Arizona, the site of one of the ships that was sunk during Pearl Harbor, and they won't touch it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's still remains in there, and there's like 300,000 gallons of oil still leaking from it that they can't stop. But if it becomes out of hand, they already know they have the plan and everything to stop it and to do it. But yeah, I mean, there's remain. It's
haunting.
Oh boy. So I mean, what do you think of this picture?
Let's see.
Here's what we got. Here's the picture that is in question.
What is that? What am I looking at?
They're saying possible human remains found in the Titanic shipwreck. 2004 photograph released this week shows a coat and boots sunken in the mud near the Titanic's stern.
I guess I don't
Based on the way the clothing items are laid, there's good evidence that this was once a person.
Oh wait, that's the bottom of the boot.
I'm guessing that's
right
the bottom of a boot. Yep.
It's weird, yeah, because there's no real scale, but I'm assuming that's it looks like coins or something around it.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I don't know. He told the New York Times never seen human remains, but the alignment of clothes does seem to suggest there was a body there at one point. So I would guess the actual remains at this point are gone. But still the clothing and... Oof. That's weird, right?
That's crazy.
Because now I see it boot, I see pant leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, nope.
Yeah. Okay,
All
don't
right.
want to go to Titanic anymore.
All right. Well, that doesn't seem as fun.
We're going to Everest.
Katie and I aren't going to wake up Jacques Cousteau to ride south in the death ball anymore.
All right. Well, let's move right on to that. On to happier things. Like who's happy?
Literally, speaking of happy.
Yeah. Speaking of happy.
Boy, there's no better way to turn this around. Now, if I had to ask you, I don't know if I would put the country that won not won, but that pulled the top of this poll.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think to put them in the top 5.
I would, but only because I don't know, you always hear that, like, Scandinavian countries are really happy.
Okay.
Norway is a Scandinavian country, right? Norway's number 1 on the list. So.
Notice my silence. So if I need to use this as an intro piece next week.
Oh, well, I'm not the first one who's Googled is Norway a Scandinavian country. While the term Scandinavia is commonly used for Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, the term Nordic countries is used unambiguously for Okay, so yes.
Whatever, get to it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nailed it.
Yeah,
nailed it.
I'd say Norway's a Scandinavian country, Steve. So once we edit that last 20 seconds out,
of course it is. I mean,
totally
everybody knows that.
Everybody's been talking about the Scandinavian friends of the Norwegian people. So atop this poll or list, Norway is listed as the happiest country in the world.
Yeah.
Norway, the happiest country on earth. At least that's according to the World Happiness Report published on Monday.
The World Happiness Report.
Okay, how do I get a job? And if I can't get a job there, you know where I'm going? The World Sadness Report.
There has to be like that equivalent, right?
Right. Oh, there absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Back into it. World Happiness Report.
Norway jumped to the top spot in this year's ranking, edging past previous champion Denmark, which fell to second. Iceland, Switzerland and Finland round out the top 5.
Yeah,
as for the United States, they dropped to 14th place, and over the years,
Scandinavian
Americans
places.
have steadily been ranking themselves less happy.
Because now that I know that Scandinavian countries, commonly used for Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, and that all 3 of them were in the top 5, right?
We should have done this with a guess, because I would have guessed Sweden.
Where do you think the U.S. will be? Did it just say? Because I just looked at the screen and it's already...
Yeah, I did.
Okay, all right, well...
I would have guessed, though, that we would have been in the top 10.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it...
Well, it makes sense that we're not, especially in the last year or so.
Right. I would have I thought Canada would be top 5.
Norway's economy, built on its huge oil and gas reserves,
all right, quit bragging.
has led the small Scandinavian nation to boast the
Look at that.
Scandinavian. Well, we're done with that. We don't need.
No, wrap it up. Lock it up. Steve was right. Scandinavian
All right,
country.
so
you heard the jolly man.
You want to be happy? Move to Norway.
I am curious. Does it have the list on there? Because now I'm curious about where Canada is. I doubt they're going to list them. You watch.
Boy.
Yeah, of course. Don't give me just the list.
So much text.
Thanks. Just don't give me just the list, though, guys. That's great.
Yeah, why would we need that? Okay, here we go. World Happiness Report. Let's get to this. Let's see. World Happiness Report 2017.
Oh, you got to download it?
Oh,
There's an exact... Boy, this is a job. I need to go. I need to work here. I need to bring all these suckers down a peg.
And you know that there's not just going to be a simple chart.
No, you got to read a PDF that's literally 188 pages.
Okay, well, hold on. We're going to do a find and do Canada.
Oh, there we go. Netherlands and Canada have traded place. Netherlands 6th. Canada's 7th. Okay. That's
all
not bad.
Hey, look, that was actually...
That's what you hear about Canada, right?
Surprisingly easier than I thought to find that information.
So who's on the bottom, do you think?
I don't know.
It's not going to be too hard to find now.
Yeah. Oh, no, there we
look
go.
at that.
Okay, so we got So we got Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Switzerland, and Finland as the top 5. Like we said, the U.S. coming in at number 14.
Right ahead of Ireland.
Where's Ireland?
Suck it, you Irish.
15. Yeah. Ireland's a nice place. We got Thailand, Taiwan, number 33.
Russia, 49. I'm trying to think what could be lower than Russia.
All the way down to the bottom.
Oh, yeah, that seems right.
Central African Republic, number 155.
Well, what did that used to be called? Because we know that changed, right? Is that the Zimbabwe? Is that...
We got, Afghanistan, number 141. Niger, 135.
What is the first world... India. looks to be the first like major country in the bottom at 122.
Yeah. Ooh, I've watched a lot of HBO Vice on India, and it doesn't seem like it's great to live there.
No, God, no. No. Do you? So Vice is inherently sad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? I find myself, I always draw towards sad documentaries somehow.
They had a really good one on heroin. It was terribly sad.
It rears its head with books with me. Like I'm sitting here with Helter Skelter, the Charles Manson story at home, the book. I asked for it, and I cannot wait to dig into Columbine, which is a book breaking down the minute by minute and everything about the Columbine shootings in 1999. Last night, Katie and I decided to watch on Netflix, or 2 nights ago. It was an hour-long documentary by the ASPCA called Second Chance Dogs.
Wait, I think I've watched that before.
So it's 55 minutes, and it's about a new program by the 4 years old, by the ASPCA, where the rescues and things that are brought in, they send them to a separate program because they're like really, really hard to socialize.
And then they rehabilitate them and...
Oh, my God.
I watched it. Yeah, we watched that a couple of months ago.
That's terrible. Why? Yeah. Why did I turn it on? It's the ASPCA. It's those commercials where Sarah McLachlan's singing, and you see sad dogs in cages, and I want to watch it for 56 minutes. You. I want to give 85% of every one of my paychecks to dog shelters now. I feel like I have to.
There's nothing stopping you. If you were a good man, you'd do it. You'd follow that intuition. Give that money.
I've long said it that to coworkers especially, that if I, the mythical world where you have fountain of money, right? I would open not a shelter or anything like that. I would just buy a massive grounds and have it be like a dog house, with people that work there and take care of it and like live there and everything. Like, I want to save all the dogs.
Let me introduce you to Annette, who, when I first met her, declared to me that if money was no option, she would open a cat sanctuary.
Feels like we're gonna have to open on opposite sides of the street so I can put her out of business.
But now that she has grown to love Lola, dog sanctuary is right up there.
Because I was going to say, this is like the dichotomy of me working at the World Happiness Report and her working at the World Sadness Report.
Well, maybe you guys can pool your resources.
Oh, it's a bummer, though. I mean, you see these dogs; they don't like human contact, and they're shaking. Oh, man. Why? Yeah. Why do I watch it?
Oh, because you know that it's going to end in a happy story. These dogs are going to be rehabilitated.
Right. They did. Katie and I noticed one major thing. They did not update on one dog.
Oh, didn't they?
Yeah, it was one of the large Malamutes. There was 3 of those, gorgeous dogs, and they did not give a final update on one of them.
Yeah.
Happy land.
Yeah. It moved to the farm upstate. That's where happy dogs go.
Oh, sorry, boy. I don't know how we digress, but that is terribly sad.
Up next, we have. Now, this is obviously we're in the Amazon Prime Studios. Major update from our sponsor on some technology. Now we've talked about Alexa on a number of occasions. In fact, I was in the commercial. Yeah. Oh, I don't think I have that anymore. Oh, I don't think I have the clip anymore.
Obviously, Steve, the voice of of Amazon Echo.
Alexa, ask Uber for a ride. Now, Echo, what is Echo? It's like
Echo is the actual thing.
It's like a little digital assistant type.
Right. So it's a large tube. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law had it when we visited them in Hawaii, and so it's a large cylinder, and it essentially can pick up your voice from 10s and 20 feet away or whatever.
Right.
Alexa, play music, and it'll play the last station you played on Pandora.
Alexa, what's the weather like?
Right. So you need that, and it's voice activated, but it also is in sync, obviously, with our sponsor, Steve, Amazon Prime.
That's right. Well, they have an update to it now, available in some markets.
Alexa,
order NyQuil from Prime now.
Vicks NyQuil and Dayquil is $11.99. Would you like to buy it?
Yes. Oh, and Kleenex, please.
Alexa, order more diapers from Prime now.
A 68 count of Huggies Little Snugglers size 3 is $20.12.
Give me some chips from Prime now.
You've previously bought Doritos Nacho Cheese.
Get some more Pepsi.
Hey, what about the new Fallout?
Let's do it.
Okay, based on your current order, I recommend Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup.
Yes.
Great. Your total is $20.12. Would you like anything else before I send your order?
No.
No, that's okay.
That's all.
Okay, order placed. It's on the way with free 2-hour delivery.
Voice shopping with Alexa just got faster with Prime Now. Tens of thousands of items are available for free 2-hour delivery by asking Alexa to order from Prime Now.
Oh.
2-hour delivery? Now, this is Prime Now is the service. It's basically the service above Amazon Prime where you can get stuff super fast. And obviously only available in like certain markets. Let's see.
Got to be in the major ones.
Yes. Oh, but
right there, Seattle. Oh, for
well,
alcohol.
No, this is even different. So basically, if you say, "Hey, Alexa, send me," like the one guy who's laying in bed because he's sick, send me tissues and NyQuil or whatever. 2 hours later, it's at his door. But now they're saying that certain places, customers in some cities can also order beer, wine, and spirits. Unfortunately, though, it's quite limited. You can only do that in Seattle. Beer and wine are available in Columbus and Cincinnati, Ohio.
First of all, that's just Steve and Kyle road trip.
Yeah, just so we can...
We've got to try it.
So we have to drive there.
Get a hotel. Buy an Alexa. Oh, yeah. Boy,
hook it up.
An issue.
Get Amazon Prime Now.
Right.
Just so we can order a beer and have it there.
Gotta see if it works.
In 2 hours.
Gotta see if it works. Put the timer on. Make sure it happens. I need an excuse to go to that side of Ohio, Steve. My regional beer supply is running a bit short.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we can do this.
Yeah. Well, we have to. I don't understand the confusion here. I mean, I know it seems like you're maybe a touch waffling, but this is something that has to be done. I need somebody to bring me a bottle of Boone's Farm for $3.99 to the hotel room door and watch me chug it.
Now, let's see. Here are all of the cities that Amazon Prime Now is available.
Not us.
Atlanta, Austin, Baltimore, Chicago, Cincinnati, Columbus, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Indianapolis, Vegas. Yeah, there's nothing anywhere near us.
Right.
Nothing at all. Nothing in the state. That's disappointing. This needs to become something. This needs to be worldwide. I can order anything I want in 2 hours.
Well, they've got restaurant delivery and everything, too, that they do, which it should be more prominent than it is.
Isn't that crazy?
Just another thing, our sponsor. Look at that.
Yeah.
I wish they'd have checked with us first.
Yeah, it would have been nice if, I don't know.
We could have gotten a voice in there, maybe a test
yeah,
out.
Exactly. You got the original Alexa Ask Uber for a Ride guy in your stable of talented artists.
You don't even go back to the voice agency.
Yeah.
What an embarrassment.
Ugh. You know, we forgot when we were talking wrestling earlier, we forgot about the breaking wrestling news that happened earlier today. Did you hear about this?
I saw the headline, yeah.
Got to feel bad for the boss, Mr. McMahon.
Oh, man. Vinnie Mac?
He totaled his Bentley outside of the WWE headquarters this morning.
Oh, man.
Boy, oh boy. According to TMZ, the incident was minor, but according to the pictures, it doesn't look very minor.
Oh, boy. It looks like he hit a service truck or something.
Now, this is a picture of Vince right here.
Yeah,
One, looks like a very old man. Looks like a feeble old man crossing the street at a crosswalk.
Well, he hasn't been on TV in like 6 or 8 months. He had like a knee or a hip
done.
Did? Okay. And is also in his 70s.
Is he really that old? He's in his 70s?
Yeah.
Is he... am I seeing these like
that
Adidas
looks like track pants?
Adidas track pants.
Those are black track pants with white
with the 3 white stripes.
Yep, and the windbreaker.
Yeah, so he totaled his Bentley. They're saying.
Oh man.
But yeah, that looks pretty rough on his car. I think he'll have the money to replace it, though.
You gotta wonder a little bit. There's got to be some tax thing about Connecticut, right? You have ESPN, like one of the biggest
I don't know.
networks in the world. You have the WWE, which is a multi-hundreds of million dollars a year corporation as well.
Do they have? Because I know
they held that really successful gaming studio that Kurt Schilling held.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that was Massachusetts. That was Massachusetts.
38
studios that bombed, and he stole a bunch of money from citizens.
Yeah, boy, he's really on an uptrend.
Yeah, boy, he's going to make the Hall of Fame anytime now. No. Boy, oh boy, you're right though. That picture is not very.
Poor guy.
That is not. But that's funny. A minor incident, and the Bentley's totaled.
Yeah. Well,
I guess what do you do? You go to your local Bentley dealer in Stamford, Connecticut.
It's probably a couple $100,000 car.
Right.
So
anything like wrong, well, we can only get that piece of sheet metal from a New Zealand mine, and we have to fight monks for it.
Well, Mr. McMahon, you're in our thoughts and prayers. Hopefully you recover financially from this devastating loss.
Thank God he's not near the coast. You heard about them sharks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
Could have been
Vince.
worse. I mean, he was very close to sharks, too.
Connecticut is stone's throw from the ocean, if I know my map correctly.
Yeah.
He could have driven that Bentley to the beach where he could have been attacked by a great white shark.
Well, he got in an accident. That thing could have gone careening out of control upwards of like 100 miles.
Lucky to be alive, Vince.
Oh, boy. Praying for you, buddy.
Lucky to be alive.
Praying
oh, my
for
God. Look at the clock, as always.
Look at the clock, but look at the list that we actually got through.
Right, we made a concerted effort today.
We got through everything on our list.
Right.
So, except for one other thing. Artie Lang, in case you didn't hear, comedian Artie Lang, formerly of the Howard Stern Show. Artie Lang was arrested once again for, I think he had heroin in his possession, and some other drugs too. But man, his mugshot sure does make me sad. Makes me sad.
Yeah, that's a shame, man, because I mentioned it to you before the podcast too. One of the most underrated sports films of all time is called Beer League.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, find a streaming service or something that you can get it on, because it is a super low budget, slow pitch softball sports comedy with Artie Lang and Ralph Macchio.
The Karate Kid.
Obviously the Karate Kid.
Okay. So this is
also moonlighting as Frankie Karate and your high school gym wrestling matches.
So this was probably early 2000s, 2003,
yeah, early to mid, I think.
Probably.
Yeah. We ran into it somehow on a trip in the Great White North of Michigan visiting somebody, and we rented a movie and we saw this. Thought, yeah, why the heck not? And it is so underrated, and I'm bringing it next week, Steve, because not add this to the list. Put it on the top of the list.
All right.
You have to watch it. You have to watch it immediately.
I will watch
it.
it.
It's like 90 minutes.
I'll watch it next week. If you bring it to me next week, I will have it watched
and
by
it's
the following
super
week.
dumb, but it is hilarious.
All right. So with all of that, I guess we'll jump right into the Fast Five.
Yeah.
Fast Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I believe that you are up this week on the Fast Five.
Yeah, and that's good. My computer is down to 10%.
Okay. Get through it quick.
Fast Five. My first one, James Comey.
Not surprising what he has said.
Saudi Arabia.
Seems like a nice place. I got a lot of gas there. Gas price is pretty cheap there.
Wonder where they were in the World Happiness Report. Captain
Wait a minute.
Sig.
How close are they to the beach?
Oh my God! Aren't they near an ocean?
Wait, did you say Captain Sig?
Captain Sig.
I have no idea. Oh no!
Boy.
Don't tell me something bad.
I'll sketch you.
Don't tell me something bad.
It's not good.
Oh, well, your chair just dropped about 6 inches.
Tom Brady.
Oh, our long national nightmare is finally ended.
Thank God. Finally, Northwestern kid.
Oh, is that the flute player?
No, no, just like an 8-year-old kid. You haven't seen that video?
I don't think I know.
Pull up. Just Google Northwestern kid. It'll be the first thing that came up.
Okay.
So there is a not outrage or anything. But so
I've seen this kid. Okay,
so an 11-year-old kid who was very, very sad that Northwestern Wildcats lost to the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Passionate fan right there.
And was crying and was distraught through the ending of the game. Well, CBS Sports took it upon themselves to highlight him a crazy amount of times. They shouldn't have done it, right? So
because you've seen this before. Like it'll be a baseball game that goes into extra innings, and they always pan over the kid who's like, "Oh, is he gonna fall? Oh, he's not
sleeping."
Enough. He's not enough. And then they pan back to him 5 or 6 times.
But
throughout
this
the
kid's
inning.
11, entering junior high or whatever, and now has to deal with friends and any girl who would look at him. Hey, you were crying like an idiot at a basketball game.
Northwestern kid.
Secondly, I mentioned Tom Brady. Thank God the authorities got involved. They found his jersey.
Now we're really fighting for the important stuff.
Right,
here.
we're getting to the bottom of serious crime to find out that Mexican reporter somehow walked in and 14 minutes later walked out with 2 jerseys.
Gotta build that wall, man. Build that wall.
Man, he's the first one to go over it. I mentioned Captain Sig.
No, now that
captain of the Northwestern, the FV Northwestern, the
fishing vessel,
one of the fishing vessels on the Deadliest
Is it
Catch.
going to be bad? Am I going to be upset?
I don't know if you're going to be upset. So, did you know he had an estranged daughter?
I think I remember reading. I know that he had a daughter that was on the boat, right?
Yeah, that's Mandy. She's not estranged.
Mm-hmm.
This daughter's been estranged for like 20-some years and just came out with sexual assault allegations when she was a toddler.
Boy. Not good.
He
Not
refutes.
good at all.
Apparently, the authorities investigated 20-some years ago, said there's nothing to go on here and moved on, but still she's made them public. Deadliest Catch has come out and said, yeah, we're going to stand by the boat and we're going to, we're going to air the Deadliest Catch.
Okay.
And we feel like, this is all in the clear. Still,
that's
not a good look for Cap Sig.
No, it's definitely a little tarnish.
That starts in 2 weeks.
I'm like 4 seasons behind, man.
You can jump back in. It's Deadliest Catch. They fished.
That's true. They caught a lot.
You missed 3 seasons of dead crab. You can jump back in.
Is
anytime.
it really? Is that?
Yeah.
It's been bad.
No,
man,
well,
I missed that show.
It's really good. The only bummer this year, and this is probably way too nuts and bolts Deadliest Catch talk, is the Cornelia Marie.
Done?
For some reason, according to Harris, Josh is the non-drugged up one, right?
Yeah, Jake is the one in trouble.
Josh Harris has came out with a video in the fall and said, yeah, it's not our choice. We didn't ask for anything different or anything more. They just don't want to do the Cornelia Marie this year.
Wow.
So one of the mainstay boats, obviously, the fishing vessel of your idol.
Of course,
Captain
Phil Harris.
Phil passed away, and now the boat is off the show. I mentioned Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the news because there was a change in the law recently. Now, 800 families, Steve. 800 families suing Saudi Arabia for 9/11. Should they be able to? That's my question.
God, that's an emotional thing. Who am I to say no to a
to a family that lost a loved one 16 years ago?
How does that work when you sue a country?
I have no idea.
Because I'm sure it's not the first time it's happened.
Right. I have no idea if that goes through like a UN thing. Does that go through like a tribal or like a military type of thing? I have no idea.
Boy.
But yeah, 800 families of loved ones of people who lost loved ones on 9/11 suing Saudi Arabia.
I mean,
is it court? Do you go,
I
hey, you knew these people were bad guys, you kept them, pay me money? Is that how it goes?
Right. Exactly. And what are they looking for out of are they looking for a financial?
I think so, and maybe so they can actually place some guilt above the 20 some odd people who actually committed the crime.
So they're basically
somebody should have known.
Yeah, they're pointing
down the line
saying, this slipped through the cracks. And
right, it's on you to do it. Yeah. And lastly, I mentioned James Comey, director of the FBI. To put it in wrestling terms, he had a real face turn. Yesterday at his hearing in front of Congress, has come out and said that the wiretapping claims have no base that President Trump made, and also said that they are openly investigating Russia being involved in the election.
Well, I don't think that the wiretapping thing was not surprising at all.
No. Yeah, I'm actually surprised it was addressed, but I'm glad it was.
Right.
Because
yeah.
it should be
I mean,
stopped
it's
nonsense,
silly.
right?
It's silly and baseless.
Right.
From people who know about the situation.
Right.
The Russian investigation though, that's
happening. It's a big deal.
I mean, I don't think it'll lead to anything.
Maybe not. I think it's still good that it's there, and you're talking about a guy who investigated email servers twice within a 6-month period right around the election. So I think this is the least he could do.
All right, my turn for the Fast Five.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, number 1, I believe I'm saying it right. Tommy Lahren.
Oh, beautiful blowhard.
Beautiful, from The Blaze, the Glenn Beck network. Number 2, Villanova.
Oh, overrated garbage. Shouldn't have had him in your Final Four.
Number 3, Tom Brady's Super Bowl jersey.
Thank the Lord that we have somebody looking out for our best interests as humans, because this isn't just a sports fan thing, Steve.
No.
This is a human interest story that we all needed solved, because if a piece of memorabilia can go missing, we'll be watching Tom Brady, The Life of a Legend on ESPN, a 5-part documentary in 10 years, when he holds a guy at gunpoint saying, don't let him out, give me that jersey.
Number 4, Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, get him off my TV. Him and Charles Barkley.
Apparently,
I hope Charles Barkley's your number 5.
No, he's not. Apparently, we'll get back to that in a minute, actually. Okay, and number 5, I have used this on numerous Fast Fives, but I feel like every week we're in here, there's an update on the situation, and it's McGregor versus Mayweather.
It's still not going to happen.
Really?
It's not
even
gonna
though Dana
happen.
White, because Dana White was on
Dana White wants money.
Either Conan or Kimmel,
right?
Saying that he thought that it was very possible that it would happen.
Boy,
he'll make money off of it. I mean, it's just a matter of how much he's going to get.
I'm wrong in saying it's not going to happen because I said that about Mayweather Pacquiao, and granted, that did take like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this happens. I think there's too many hoops to jump because what do? Do you just call it a boxing match?
That's what it's going to be.
Right, so it has to be a boxing match.
It's
so you're already going to lose
match.
a lot of UFC fans who don't like boxing.
I don't
anyway.
think so, though. I don't think because I'm at best a casual MMA fan, a not at all boxing fan,
right.
And I would watch this fight.
Okay, so you weren't turning into the Gennady Golovkin fight this past week.
Oh no, I missed
that one.
Yeah,
so that's a good fight. Good fight. I don't, as a Mayweather fan, I don't know if that's a fight I'm buying. I think I've said that before.
Wow,
I'll say it again.
I'm surprised by that
I
because
think
I
it's
was
a
planning on coming to
steamrolling.
your house to watch it.
Well, we get a group together. You know me. I'm down for 12 hours of drinking. We'll make it a shindig. I don't think it's a good fight. I think McGregor. I don't think I don't think McGregor gets knocked out, but I think he gets punished for 12 rounds.
Really, you think it goes 12 rounds?
I don't think McGregor gets knocked out because I think he's got too strong of a chin.
Okay.
Because in boxing, it's different than the punches you land in the UFC. You have, what are they? I think they're like half-inch gloves with tape. In boxing, they're heavier gloves, but they're more taped up. And there's just not as much. You're not going to catch one as flush. That's the only thing you have to worry about. I don't think Mayweather has the strength to knock him out. And I think McGregor has a better chin that he won't get knocked out.
Because Mayweather's not a knockout guy, right?
No. He's a
go the distance
counter
guy.
You into submission and punish you.
Okay.
And that's what's going to happen. I would actually call it right now, if it happens, the final score will be at best 119-111 for,
wow.
119,
that's, all right.
119-109.
Someone pull this audio and send it to us.
Yeah, please do, because Mayweather's going to steamroll.
Now, I think that tentatively someone said September it's going to happen.
Mayweather wanted June. I think the turnaround on that's
it's a bit close.
I think he's saying that because I think he's smart too. Because McGregor said he wanted a year off at least because he's having a kid. So he doesn't. If he says I want June. McGregor says I'm going to do in June. It's more for the media. Now Mayweather can say, "Oh, look at him. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. I told him to sign the line."
All right. Well, hopefully that happens because I have plans to come to your house that night to watch it. All right. Right before that, we had Shaquille O'Neal, in case you didn't hear. Shaquille O'Neal.
I hope your audio goes out.
Defending, it's Kyrie Irving, right?
Kyrie Irving is the 24-year-old all-star point guard from the Cavaliers, which is way too young to be so dumb.
Made headlines a couple weeks ago at the All-Star game or at the All-Star weekend when he talked about how he thought that the Earth was flat.
That's the one you got to live with.
This is
true.
Some people like it, some people don't, but, we'll see where it takes us.
What did you make of the Kyrie stuff?
I don't. It's true.
What?
The Earth is flat.
Okay. Shaquille O'Neal just said that the Earth was flat and agreed with a very dumb person.
I can't even begin to understand.
Don't worry. He gives a full explanation.
Thank God.
You won't be able to say, well,
he doesn't have his reasons.
Yeah.
Jack, what are you talking about?
The Earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
listen,
it's not.
There's 3 ways to manipulate the mind. What you read, what you see, and what you hear.
Okay.
Conspiracies.
In school, first thing they teach us is, Columbus discovered America. But when he got there, it was some fair-skinned people with the long hair smoking out of peace pipes. So what does that tell you? Columbus didn't discover America.
He found where some other people already lived.
I drive from coast to coast, and this shit's flat to me. I'm just saying.
Okay, that's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
I drive from
Florida. It's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
I drive from Florida to California all the time, and it's flat to me.
92 podcasts, and that's the dumbest thing you've ever said. That's a high bar to get over.
I do not go up and down in a 360-degree angle and all that.
Good on the host for calling him out.
Right.
And just
Well, it
calling
sounds
him
like he's a
stupid.
guy who has to keep this moron on a somewhat straight line for 92 podcast episodes. And so good for him to call him an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what? I hate giving it the time of day.
I can't believe it. I don't believe that he believes that.
I don't either.
I think he knows what a soundbite is.
I feel like, what percentage of population, if you had to guess right now, people think the earth is flat? Educated, 13 and up.
Boy. 15.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I was going to go less than 1.
I think it's high. I think it's high because...
This is insane. We need to get out of here because this is insane. Somehow somebody's going to push a button and going to kill us all because there's one idiot who thinks stupid garbage like the earth is flat.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Before that, we had Tom Brady's Super Bowl jersey. I already discussed that.
Right.
I had no idea that his jersey from 2 years ago was also stolen.
Yeah, both of them.
From Super Bowl 49 and Super Bowl 51.
I don't know why he had the Super Bowl 49 jersey with him in the Super Bowl 51 locker room.
No. I think that it was...
separate.
I think that it was stolen back then.
Same guy? Because they said they recovered both.
Yeah. I guess I'm not clear on it, I guess. I don't know. When I read it, I
assumed... I really don't care.
I assumed that it was stolen back then.
Right.
And then stolen... and then another one was stolen last month. But man, thank God that the power of the FBI.
The federal authorities finally doing something worth all of our while.
All right. I had number 2 on the list was Villanova. They busted a lot of people's brackets, including mine, even though I'm still in second place in the Stephen Kyle podcast March Madness Throwdown.
I had Villanova being the first ones in most of my brackets, being one of the first number 1 seeds eliminated anyway.
Okay.
I don't think I had them losing that early.
Now, number 1 on my list was Tomi Lahren. If you're not familiar with her, she is the conservative host on the Glenn Beck created network, The Blaze.
Okay, I didn't know that. I knew she worked for something called The Blaze. I didn't know what that was.
That's Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck founded that network a bunch of years ago. But she, beautiful, absolutely beautiful woman, but she's pretty much responsible for coining the phrase snowflakes.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah. And she's the one that always has like really hardline stances and just rips into liberals and is insanely pro Donald Trump. Well, she was a guest on The View earlier this week, maybe late last week.
Yeah,
and
looks like that.
Came out and said that she is pro-choice.
Wow.
And that didn't go over well with her fan base.
Oh, well, yeah, the fan base I get, like being essentially being not used, but like if that doesn't tell you that she's putting on a face and putting on a show for the most part, that what she's saying is taking to extremes for whatever radio or whatever she's writing, then nothing will.
Well, she was suspended by the Blaze. She was suspended for a week, and the rumor is that she is done. Because I had read an article, I don't think solely based on that, but I read an article the day before I heard about this saying that rumors are that she's going to be out by September.
Well, don't worry, bigger and better are on her horizon anyway.
Yeah, but
you're talking about a 24-year-old for the most part conservative blonde. She might as well have a golden chair at Fox News.
Yeah,
waiting for like a PM slot or whatever.
Though no official reasoning was given for Laren's week-long on-air absence, conservative fans and those who have been keeping up with the 24-year-old's political rants were clearly taken aback by her hypocritical change in viewpoint.
Wow. Oh, I don't know if it's hypocritical. Has she come out before and said, I am...
I don't know.
That's what I mean. You can't call it hypocritical if you don't know.
I would bet that because it's a uber-conservative network, that it was just assumed that she would be pro-life.
Still asinine that you're being suspended for having an opinion, by the way. Let's not let that go unnoticed.
Yeah, there's got to be something... There needs to be. You can't get suspended for something like that. I mean, there has to be something else going on.
Boy, that is a horrifying, like, side by side. You see, like, Tomi Lahren, 24, long blonde hair, slinky white dress, looks gorgeous, and then you see what at this rate she could become in 25 years with a picture of Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there was a lot of I remember a photo going viral of it was Tommy Lahren on the left and Kellyanne Conway on the right, and it was like the caption underneath the left was like your first day of work, and then like your last day on the job or something.
Man.
So yeah, that's pretty crazy. I do not.
Are you going to?
I do not like her at all. Just the video look, and it's not because. I just know that she's playing a part,
right?
And it annoys me that it gets so much press.
Right, I gotta tell you, being literally my first exposure to her, I kind of like her. I appreciate her coming out like that and saying that, and like not backing down even after being suspended, where she could just give an index card apology.
Yeah, well, if she went on. To give her credit, she went on The Daily Show maybe a month and a half ago.
Probably got roasted.
And
type of deal.
Well, The Daily Show, because they have limits as to how long the interviews can be. Right. So they chopped. It was a 26 or 27 minute long interview and chopped it. But it had to fit in like a 7 minute spot.
Right.
Well, but if you take the chance, go back and watch the entire thing. It's because she afterwards like, oh, they edited it and only put in 7 minutes of a 25-minute interview, and it's like, you're lucky that they only use 7 minutes of it, because she doesn't she takes a lot of odd stances in that interview with Trevor Noah. But
boy, I am so glad I've gotten out of even turning to the political talk stations.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah,
can't do it.
Oh, boy. Looks like we set a record here tonight.
That's stupid.
We're at over 2 hours.
That's
the first time ever, right? I think the longest we ever went was 2 hours and an hour and 40 something.
Right, yeah. This smashes it. I haven't eaten, so I'm going to go. You're lucky I didn't eat this cup holder.
Well, that was fun, though. We actually got to everything on our list. I guess
let's not do that again.
I guess that's how long the podcast is.
We talked about that.
We actually do what we plan on doing. Yeah, maybe we're a little overzealous with everything this week.
We make this a 2-hour podcast. We'll give you the first hour free. You got to pony up the big bucks to hear the second.
All right, so we're going to be back in about a week. We'll record another episode. In the meantime, you can download, subscribe, review the show in iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, and on Libsyn, StephenKyle.libsyn.com. That's actually a newly redesigned page within the last week or two. Yeah. Follow us on Twitter at Stephen Kyle, Facebook.com/Stephen Kyle, and
hashtag bring back Cheers Chat.
Hashtag, oh man, Cheers Chat really died, didn't it?
Hashtag bring back Cheers Chat. We're going to make this thing happen. You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm actually putting it in what I send you every week, what I want to get to. I'm putting it in again, and hopefully maybe next week.
Oh, we'll see. We'll try to get to it.
Busy week in the Living in Style Podcast Network next week.
That's right, yeah. A lot of stuff going on. We'll get to it all. We'll talk to you next week.
When you're ready for checking that earns interest and gives you perks, Merc Perks Plus from Mercantile Bank is here. With a competitive interest rate and perks like travel services, cashback rewards, and identity protection, Merc Perks Plus has everything you need for your busy lifestyle. Merc Perks Plus also offers discounts on consumer loans, convenient online budgeting tools, and access to almost 40,000 fee-free MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merc is here. Learn more at mercbank.com/MercPerksPlus. Member FDIC.
How can I help you?
Can I see a doctor soon? Oh, somewhere close.
One moment, please.
You there?
Still searching.
Finding the right primary care at the right place and time doesn't have to be a never-ending search. Not when the world-class primary care providers of University of Michigan Health West have the answers in 15 convenient locations near you. Find your care today at uofmhealthwest.org/here.